Welcome back to WagerTalk.com. I'm Marco D'Angelo, joined in studio. Our special guest this week, Carmine Bianco, and we are talking soccer in this one. As I said in the last video, Carmine, you're not just a one-trick pony, but soccer has been your bread and butter. There's no question about that. And we forgot to mention in the first video that you had a radio career as well. You did radio out of Toronto. You covered the NFL and CFL on the Fan 590. Tell us a little bit about that.
It was basically a Sunday show starting at 11. It was a couple of hours, and I was invited into the show after meeting one of the hosts at a charity event, charity golf event, and after the first show went well, and they invited me back, and then I just became a regular fixture every Sunday. So from there, the Fan 590 got me to cover the Toronto Argos, the CFL. So I'd set up interviews with players, have them on. We'd have our regular feature on Sundays, picking 3 NFL games against the number. And I'm going to brag a little bit. I had the better record against the two prognosticators there, who had their own sports service, 900 number. But it's just another element of it. I think the thing I enjoyed most about working for the Fan 590 is you got a press pass.
There you go.
As a Sabre fan, I could travel to Buffalo and see as many games as I wanted to. So
there you go.
That was a great thing.
Going to soccer, I've got to feel that, and again, I'm going to preface this video by saying I know zilch about betting soccer, but I do know about finding value. And, you'll hear the videos we do with Preston or Brian or Ralph, that we're always talking about trying to find deficiencies in the market. And I would have to say, with the United States being so mainstream with the NFL, NBA, baseball, and then hockey being fourth, that soccer's so far down on the list that it doesn't get the scrutiny by the odds makers, and that you can take advantage of that.
It doesn't, and I think it should. Soccer, I understand Main Street sports in North America, and it's the same in Canada. There is sort of a soccer, I don't want to call it a revival, but soccer is becoming very popular in Canada, and it is in the U.S. with the MLS as well too. I think there's a World Cup coming back to North America. I believe they're going to split it between Canada, Mexico, and the U.S. And hopefully that brings it further. Soccer is, believe it or not, it is the top bet sport in the world. It's in Europe. It is, the numbers are just phenomenal. I think if it was on ESPN and Fox Sports a lot more, people would be more inclined to probably wager on it. People want to see what they're betting on. So betting on, say, a Serie A game on a Sunday morning at 9 o'clock, and you can only get a score online as opposed to the game being televised on TV, makes it a little tougher, but there is a lot of value there. MLS is a great example. I have a great record, I think, at WagerTalk with MLS, and even with the Pinnacle numbers when they first come out, there is a great value if you know what you're doing on the initial numbers when they come out. I recently had one where I was positive the line was 40 to 50 cents off, and I think it was Scott Spritzer. I remember reading something he said, if a line is 160, or if the line is 30 to 40 cents off, if you think it's out at 160 and you think it should be 190, 195, then you have value there. You have value of 35 cents. It brings you to the point of even arbitrage betting. If you know you can beat a line move, you have to beat it. And there was a 5% play a few days ago where I knew, and I put it in my write-up, this line is 35 cents off. And by game time, it was actually more, 40 cents higher than the number that was originally posted. So,
do you think one of the things that intimidates some of the U.S. bettors as far as soccer goes is that there are different ways to play soccer? You've got the money line, you've got the goal line, explain three-way betting to the viewers that don't understand that.
Well, I'll use today as a prime example. Today, I didn't have a card today, but I did say that I thought in today's Confederation Cup semifinal, Portugal, the favorite, was playing Chile, and I thought Chile was the better team and would win the game. If you're betting three-way, the game went into extra time and eventually penalties. Chile won the game. So if you're betting a three-way line, unfortunately, if you're taking Chile to win, it's a losing bet. If you bet them on the two-way line, you would have won. So three-way line incorporates, there's always going to be a winner on your wager. Mm-hmm. There's never going to be a push. Mm-hmm. There's three results, obviously a draw or the home team or away team. Whereas with a two-way line, there's always going to be, there's going to be a winner, but there is the possibility of a push. Mm-hmm. And that's in a game where the money is evenly split. Let's say Pinnacle lists a line as today with a game, let's say Portugal minus 110, Chile pick minus 110, Chile pick even. If the game ends in a draw after 90 minutes, it's a push on when you have a pick line on a two-way line. Yeah. So you have literally two different options on a two-way line, three-way line. I usually tell people to try and take a two-way line if the line is a pick-em affair, mm-hmm. Because you have the option of your wager pushing as opposed to losing.
Okay. Now, in the difference of the two-way line and the three-way line, because there is the third option, I'm guessing that the favorites, you're going to save a little bit on the favorites because there's a third option in there, on the money line.
Absolutely. Case in point today, Portugal was like 145. Chile was plus 220 on the two-way line. They were literally a pick-em and about minus 110 and even. If you're looking for a bigger payday, but it comes with more risk, the three-way line is the way to go. Again, case in point would be the Champions League final, Juventus and Real Madrid. Real Madrid was plus 165, Juventus was plus 200. Those were the part of the three-way lines. It was a pick-em game on the two-way line. Mm-hmm. If you liked Real Madrid and you figured they were going to win in 90 minutes, the three-way line was the way to go. And they easily covered that line painfully, as I'm a Juventus supporter.
Yeah. So. And last thing I would say, and I would guess as in any sport, don't do the obvious and take these big favorites and hook them up in parlays and think that's the way to go.
Yeah, one thing I do is I'm very active on Twitter, and I have a lot of customers, clients who will send me DMs, and I try and answer as many as I can, mm-hmm. and they're always looking for a parlay. Mm-hmm. Carmine, you only have a couple games today. What else can I parlay it with? Yeah. And it's a disaster. Parlaying is a way to kill your bankroll. If you're set on parlaying or putting a parlay in, it has to be the smallest percentage of your bankroll. That's the great thing about WagerTalk, is having 2, 3, 4, and 5% plays. Players should deal with bankroll management, and this is the best way to do it. It doesn't always happen, but it's the best way to do it. Taking minus 300, 400, 500 favorites and putting them in a parlay to try and get 5 games, which will get you essentially even money. Mm-hmm. You now need 5 teams to win for an even money bet. There has to be a better way to make money than doing that. It's bankroll suicide, parlays.
Well, good stuff. And again, I want to thank you for coming in and sharing your knowledge of soccer with us, and invite everybody to check out Carmine's plays at WagerTalk. And as he said, he is very active on Twitter. So give him a follow. And if you have any soccer questions for him, feel free to hit him up on Twitter. You're on Twitter at all kinds of different hours. And that goes to, I guess, what time the games are starting that you are watching across the country in overseas in Europe. So definitely, I see you out there. I do some odd times, and I see you there too. So good stuff, Carmine. And we'll appreciate you coming in. And sorry for having to be stuck in the airport for 4 hours with the Prez.
It's not the easiest thing you want, but
we got to do it. All right, we had to get a jab in our beloved leader, the Prez. And guys, don't forget, every Tuesday at WagerTalk, it's $2 Tuesday. You can get any pick from one selected capper we offer his best bet. Generally, we pick somebody that is red hot at the time, and we offer his play for just $2 that day. It's each and every Tuesday, $2 Tuesday. Check it out at wagertalk.com. We'll be back with more here at WagerTalk.